Alright guys, so we got some really weird Pokemon news going on here. A few days ago, the traffic data for Pokemon GO came out, and it contained a new character model for what appeared to be a new Pokemon, who looked really weird. It didn't have a name or type or anything associated with it, but the design itself, like its body looked like a silver Ditto, basically. But its head is a giant nut, like you would put on a bolt. And it's got like an eyeball floating in the middle of the nut, and then it's got like a little zigzag tail that kind of looks like the stripe on Kecleon's stomach. So this thing's really odd looking. When I first saw it, my thought was it looks a lot like an Ultra Beast. And there was no name or anything, so the fans have taken to calling it Nutto, since it looks like a Ditto, but it's got a nut for a head. So I'm just going to refer to it as Nutto until we get some kind of actual name for this thing. But anyway, we saw Nutto. Apparently, it was in the slots that Kecleon was supposed to be in, which is even more confusing because he's got like the Kecleon striped tail. So this thing was just weird in every sense of the word. But then yesterday, they were having the Chikorita Community Day event thing in Go, which I don't play Pokemon Go because it's mobile trash and I just don't care. But my understanding of what happened was after the Community Day events ended, for a 30-minute period, all the Pokemon in the game turned into Nuttos. And if you went around and caught one, what happened was as soon as you caught it, it turned into a Ditto. So you weren't actually catching the new Pokemon. And I think I saw some people reporting that like theirs turned into Kecleons or Chikoritas as well. So again, really weird stuff. But when people saw this, their first reaction was that it's probably the new Pokemon that we were promised that was going to be in the Pokemon Let's Go games. Because if you remember in the opening trailer, when they first revealed those games, they said that there was going to be one new Pokemon in it that you could transfer to Pokemon Go. So everyone assumed that this was it. If that is the case, it's a very weird design for them to go with as like the sneak peek Gen 8 preview Pokemon. It's not a bad design. I actually like him. The more I see him, the more he looks cute. Especially if you see the animations where he's like moving around and blinking and doing stuff. So I like the design. It's just really strange. Now, there's a lot of speculation going on about what this thing is, what it could be. The weird way the event worked in the game that was involving him just makes it even more odd. Now, I've seen a ton of different theories about it, but there's two that I want to talk about that I actually really like the sound of them. I don't know how likely they are to actually be true, but I like the sound of them, so I'm going to talk about them here. Now, the first one is that maybe this thing actually is an Ultra Beast, but it's an Ultra Beast version of Ditto, in that it would fill the same role as Ditto would, and make the Ultra Beasts be breedable, where you can breed them all with this thing. Which, basically, I like the sound of this just because it means that Ultra Beasts would be breedable, which currently they're not. So, making more things able to breed is always a useful thing. But that would fit with his design mostly being like Ditto if it's some sort of like otherworldly Ditto. I don't think it's like a regional variant of it or anything like that from like Ultra Space or something. But that would be an interesting concept and a way to make Ultra Beast breedable. So I kind of like that idea, but the other one is the one that really appealed to me. I saw someone suggest that what if Nutto itself isn't the new Pokemon, but it's actually a Ditto trying to transform into the new Pokemon, but it can't quite do it right. Which would make sense, because if you look at Ditto's Pokedex entries, it mentions the fact that if the Pokemon it's transforming into isn't right in front of it, then it can sometimes make mistakes and get details wrong and stuff like that. So what if this weird sort of amalgamation of a design that it has isn't the design of the new Pokemon itself? It's a Ditto that's failing to transform into the new Pokemon, and the details of Nutto's design are just a hint at the actual new Pokemon's design, in that it could be sort of mechanical looking, have nuts and bolts on its body or something, be gold and silver in colors because of the silver Ditto body and the gold nut head. So maybe that's what's going on here, and it's just giving us a sneak peek tease at what the new Pokemon is instead of it actually being the new Pokemon itself. Which, if that's what they're doing here, that would actually be really clever marketing. For them to, instead of just straight up revealing the new Pokemon, to sort of tease the reveal of it by having a screwed up Ditto trying to show it, but he can't quite make it. That's a really clever idea, a really unique idea. And it gets people talking, because, you know, they show this and there's automatically a million theories going around about it. So, that's probably the most interesting idea that I've heard. The only downside to it is that means that Nutto himself is not a new Pokemon, which like I said, I'm growing to like his design, so it would kind of be unfortunate if he's not actually a Pokemon himself. But that's really all the info we have right now. The only other thing, I believe in the data, he was numbered as 891. Which there's currently 807 Pokemon, so if that Dex number is accurate, that would mean there's at least 84 new Pokemon coming for Gen 8. Which would be roughly on par with what we've got the last two gens anyway. So, that seems feasible at least. But until we get any kind of actual solid information about this thing, basically all we can do is speculate and come up with a million theories, but we've at least got this little tease here. There's also, I saw some people wondering if this was just another screw up by Niantic, and this whole event thing wasn't supposed to happen at all. And when it did happen, they just sort of ran with it and pretended they meant to do it the whole time. Which, it's possible. I ain't gonna sit here and act like that couldn't have possibly happened. So, who knows? But we got our little Nutto friend, and maybe we'll get some more information soon. So, anyway, that's all I got to say, and lots of luck to you and yours.